What is up, awesome people of the internet? Guys, happy Friday. We have made it to another Friday, and this is a very important Friday as well. We're going to dive into what you all need to know and kind of give you all a preview of the Final Four, which is today in Florida. So if y'all are there, awesome. If y'all are not there, awesome. I'm not there either. We're going to talk about everything there is to talk about regarding the Final Four because I'm excited about it. Hopefully you all are as well. There have also been some other movements of sorts when it comes to the transfer portal as well. And so we're going to talk about that and talk about the fact that maybe teams need to have their own GMs now. Maybe. All right. Hopefully y'all are having a fan-freaking-tastic day. Happy fun Friday. We have made it to the end of the week, and let's get into it. Because this is Quita in the Mornings. My name is Quita. We are in the mornings, and we are talking about some women's hoops, so make sure to grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your orange juice, sit down, relax, and let's have a great time. Okay, guys. Let's get into it. So, the stage is set, and we have our four teams. UConn, UCLA, Texas, and South Carolina. The Final Four is here. And there is a lot of storylines to talk about when it comes to this year's Final Four. And first, let's actually start with number one overall seed, which is UCLA. So UCLA is a really good squad that has never been this good before. UCLA is in new, uncharted territory. Okay? This is possibly going to be their first NCAA championship ever if they win this year. They have never made it this far before, UCLA. This is their moment. They have the Naismith Coach of the Year in Corey Close with them, right? They have her. They have the Defensive Player of the Year in Lauren Betts. You have one of the most dominant center in the game. You have a guard lineup that can, in spurts, make a lot of stuff happen. They're a team that can make some noise. Of course, anchored by one player. However, this is not just a one-player team, right? This is a squad that can get buckets. Now, is UCLA favored to make it to the championship game? No, they are not. They are not favored to make it. Can they make it? Yes, they can. They absolutely, positively can. And it's just going to take a lot of hard work in order to get there. A lot of hard work. And I think it can happen. I think it can happen. When it comes to UCLA, of course, Lauren Betts, but you also have to talk about sort of the guard contingent and the bench as well. You got Kiki Rice, who is probably the second best player on UCLA. She is someone who can knock down the three at times, but also just someone who can just get to her various spots on the court. She's averaging around 12.9 points a game and 5.1 assists a game. She is the sort of in a lot of ways, the head of the snake for UCLA, the one who is trying to make sure that Corey Close's vision actually happens on the court. So that's Kiki Rice. She can score, and also she's someone who will be doing a lot of the passes to Lauren Betts down low. Then we have Gabriela Jaquez, who is a dual athlete. Did you know that Gabriela Jaquez, not only is she a basketball player, which of course she's in the Final Four, but she's also a softball player for UCLA as well. That's a fun fact. Did you know that? Did you know that she played in the College World Series and she's also in the Final Four, which is a very rare thing to happen. Very, very rare. Did you know that? It's kind of cool. It is kind of cool. Gabrielle Jaquez this year has been averaging 9.9 points a game, 5.2 rebounds a game, and 2.2 assists a game. They need her to step up in this tournament for sure. In the Final Four for sure. Next up, you got London Jones. London Jones is sort of like the 3-point fire starter for UCLA. She can get hot early. However, it's a question mark of does she get hot in possibly these next 2 games. She's averaging around 8.7 points a game. And then we got Tamia Gardner. Tamia Gardner, who this year is averaging around 7.7 points a game, but had a massive, overall, I would say, massive game against LSU in the in the Elite Eight, I should say. So the reason why UCLA wins in that Elite Eight, yeah, sure. Lauren Betts was great, sure. But it was Tamia Gardner that got UCLA the win because no one expected her to knock down as many threes as she knocked down. She ended up with 15 points in this game and was huge piece to ultimately getting UCLA the dub. So you're going to need Lauren Betts to continue to be Lauren Betts. She's averaging around 20 points a game. You need her to score about 35, right? You need Kiki Rice to be a great facilitator. You need London Jones to come out the gate knocking down threes, and you need Tamia Gardner to show up in the same way that she showed up in the Elite Eight. That's the thing. Okay, that is the thing. Farrell says, why didn't you do the Texas versus South Carolina game first? That game starts first. Well, I did UCLA first because they were the overall number 1 seed. So I thought it made sense to do them first. But yes, technically, yeah, it is Texas versus South Carolina is first. That game is at 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And then UConn versus UCLA is 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 9:30 p.m. Central, or 8:30 p.m. Central Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. But I am doing UCLA versus UConn first because UCLA is the number 1 overall seed. Now, I know some of y'all disagree with that, but they are the number 1 overall seed. There's a lot of question marks about UCLA. Now, while they do have a lot of talent, they've never been here before. They've never been here. Their coach hasn't been here. They are not really familiar with this, with the Final Four, and so we'll see. We'll ultimately see what they can do. When it comes down to the Final Four, a lot of times it's not about talent. It's about who wants it more and who can actually execute the plays that their coach set up for them. There's a lot of question marks about that. All right, next up, let's talk about the team that they are playing against, which is UConn. Now we go from a team that is the first time in the Final Four. This is very new for them. And we're talking about a team like UConn who has been here, done that. No, nothing new for a team like a UConn because this is what they do. This is what they do. They make it to Final Fours. Not only do they make it to Final Fours, they actually win Final Fours. And that is who UCLA will be going against. UConn was the number 2 seed. So again, we have chalk. And then we have UConn in the Final Four. And this is a team that is peaking at the right time. Paige Beckers is playing out of her mind right now. You have Sarah Strong, who is just continuing to be a really, really great post player for this squad, especially when you consider the fact that she is a freshman, guys. This is not like she is a sophomore, junior, senior. No, she's a freshman doing what she's doing. You also have a team that has just buckets everywhere, right? Paige is averaging around 20 points a game, right? Sarah Strong, 16 points a game. AZ Fudd with 13 points a game. Ashton Shade, 8 points a game. Kaylin Chen, 7 points a game. KK Arnold, 5.3. Like, this is a team that, yes, Paige Beckers is the head of the snake. She is the person who executes the offense. A lot of the times, even though, Kaylin Chen is like the point guard also, she is someone who just makes everything go for UConn. But also a thing to note is that, this is not just the Paige Beckers show. Yes. Well, Paige Beckers probably score a lot of points? Yeah, sure. She absolutely might, right? She had 31 against USC in the Elite Eight. She had 40 in the Sweet 16 against Oklahoma, right? She had 34 against South Dakota State in the second round. Yes, she is someone who can absolutely score. But the thing to worry about if you are UCLA is that it's not just Paige. Because you have to worry about AZ Fudd with those threes. You have to worry about, Sarah Strong down low. There's so much that UConn has to offer. And I just got to say, yes, you can possibly, you can possibly make it happen and ultimately get the dub over UConn, but you got a lot to work on. You got a lot to work on. This is a team that is a high shooting percentage team, right? They are top 5 in the country when it comes to field goal percentage. They're not willy-nilly taking shots. Not at all. Right? This is a team that knows when exactly to shoot threes. They know when exactly to take it to the bucket, and they just make the smart play. Now, of course, yes, the leader of the Snake is Paige Bueckers, and she's going to do her thing. She's going to be very, very smart down low and all that good jazz. However, the thing about it when it comes to this UConn versus UCLA matchup is the fact that you have exceptional post on UCLA and you have exceptional guard play on UConn. The question is, who wins out? When it comes to Lauren Betts down low, truly, no one, and I mean no one, can really go pound for pound with her. You just can't. She's 6'7". She knows exactly, she has some of the best footwork in the game. She knows exactly how to move, where to move, and the only player that can stop her is herself and her teammates, to be honest with you, if they don't give her the ball. She is going to cook down low in this game. Yes, Sarah Strong is great. Sarah Strong does not have size like that. No. Yes, you can put Janet L. Alfie in. Yeah, Janet L. Alfie for UConn is 6'5". However, she's inexperienced in terms of defending that type of caliber player on the biggest of stages. And so there's going to be a huge gap, in my opinion, when it comes to post play. We'll probably see a whole lot more points in the paint for UCLA than we will for UConn, especially when it comes to the post, right? So Lauren Betts is going to eat. Absolutely. And then for UCLA, what they gain in post-production, in some ways they lack in guard play. Yes, Kiki Rice is a really good guard. However, what Kiki Rice does, what London Jones does, what Hawkes does, what Tamia Gardner does, all of that combined does in a lot of ways pale in comparison to Paige Bueckers, AZ Fudd, KK Arnold. This is a squad, Ashlyn Shade, right? This is a squad in UConn that is really, really, really good at the guard position. They have one of the best guards in the country in Paige Bueckers. Someone who, if Paige Bueckers makes it up in her mind that she wants to score, she will. She will absolutely score. And she will absolutely do whatever she needs to do to rock out, right? And so that's a thing. That is absolutely a thing. And so, yeah. It's about who is going to who's going to make it happen. Who's going to execute better is going to be post players versus guards. Post for UCLA and also add in Janiah Barker in there because she can also make some stuff happen. So it's Lauren Betts, it's Janiah Barker for UCLA, and it is Paige Bueckers, AZ, Ashlyn Shade for the guards for UConn. I do have UConn winning this game. Ultimately, that is my prediction. My prediction is that UConn will win. I think they'll win by at least 5 points, maybe more, but at least 5 points. I do think it's a very, very close game. It's a nail biter, but ultimately at the end, I think that UConn will pull away because ultimately they have, in my opinion, the better coach, the better guards, the most experience, and ultimately, I think it means more. So to me, that trumps UCLA. UCLA, in my opinion, has the best player, right? And because to me, I really do think that Lauren Betts is the best player, for sure. But if you're lacking on coaching, if you're lacking on experience, if you're lacking in all those other areas, ultimately, I do think that Gino's gonna show off his brain, his as a coach. Paige Beckers is gonna run circles around the guards, and hey, we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. So that is the first matchup. UCLA versus UConn. All right, and I did see a comment earlier with someone asking about the referees. Now, we do have the official list of the referees who are participating in this tournament. So that's a thing. So if y'all are curious about the refs who are participating, they're here. So these are the refs who are participating for both the Final Four and championship. All right, these are the referees. And if y'all have been watching the WNBA, if y'all been watching college basketball for a long time, y'all know this name, Mai Forsberg. She is fan-freaking-tastic. That is my favorite referee for women's basketball. It's a hard job to be a referee for women's basketball, but here's the list. So if you're curious about the referees and you're wondering about who they are, here's the championship officials. All right, listed for you below. Okay. All right, let's move on. And let's talk about the other game, the first game today, which will be South Carolina versus Texas. All right, so let's go through this. Let's go through this. So I do want to first start off by talking about South Carolina. Now, South Carolina, while they weren't the overall seed, they were like the second in that sort of tier, second overall seed, I guess you want to call it. And this is a team that has just about everything. They got the defense in the seatbelt gang. Shout out to Dejanay Carrington, who I feel like started that. But now you got South Carolina, you got Raven Johnson, got Bree Hall, got even Tahina Powell trying to say that they in the seatbelt gang, which is kind of fun. But this is a team that has the coaching in Dawn Staley, who is an elite coach in terms of just figuring out who to put in where, and figuring out what exactly to say to these players to make them, produce the way that she wants them to produce. So you got the coaching, you got the defense, right? You have the basketball wit of the players on the court. You have players who have been there, done that, have the experience, got several t-shirts in their closet, right? And I would say it all begins and ends with Tahina Powell. Tahina Powell, in my opinion, really is the X factor, the head of the snake, even though she is technically not the point guard for South Carolina. I feel like in a lot of ways, she is the person who gets everything going. Now, does Tahina score the most of the points? No, she does not, right? She's fourth on this team in terms of points scored. However, when it comes to who these players seem to listen to on the court, who can get this team going like that, it's Tahina freaking Pow. And in a lot of ways, she is the X factor. She is the most important player on the floor. Whether that's her playing defense and getting 4 blocks like she did in that Indiana game, in that round 2 game, whether that's her knocking down 3-point shots, she is someone who, whether that's, talking to the team at halftime and saying, hey, what are we doing? This ain't how we play. This is not how we play. Excellence. We got to do better. And then the team shows up. In a lot of ways, Tahina Pow is the person who is really, really going to get this team going. And when you talk about everybody else, it's just, pick your poison. Pick your poison when it comes to South Carolina, because similar to UConn, they have a really, really, really great post player who is a freshman. For South Carolina, it is Joyce Edwards. Joyce Edwards leads the team in points per game. She is someone who comes off the bench leading the team in points per game. She's averaging 12.7 points a game. And she is someone who has a mid-range jumper, can get to her spots. She does struggle on defense sometimes. She does. Sometimes she does get lost on defense. But, luckily for South Carolina, they have enough to kind of pick up what she lacks in defense, in my opinion. They also have another player who is second in the team in scoring and also comes off the bench, right? And that's Mylasia Fulwiley. Mylasia Fulwiley, y'all have seen it. She is someone who can absolutely go off. In that Maryland game, a huge, actually the reason why, the most major reason why, the main reason why South Carolina win that game against Maryland. Yes, other players stepped up, but ultimately when it came down to it, it was Mylasia Fulwiley who put this team on her back and went absolutely off. She had 23 points in that game. She was the end-all, be-all, really, to South Carolina, really making some noise. And the question is, will she do that in the Final Four? Will she do that in the championship game if they make it to the championship game, right? She's someone who's absolutely key, right? But then you look at the Duke game, not very effective in that game. And then you look at the fact that Joyce Edwards has not really had that much of an effective tournament at all. And then you wonder, okay, maybe youth won't solve it for South Carolina. Maybe they're going to have to rely on some of the players who have really been there for the long haul, right? And those players are Tahina Pow, Tessa Johnson. Well, Tessa Johnson's pretty young too, but Raven Johnson, Bree Hall, and Sanaya Fagan. These are players who, yes, when it comes to scoring points per game, they are not at the top when it comes to South Carolina, right? Raven is basically towards the bottom when it comes to points per game. She's only averaging 5 points a game. 4 rebounds, 2.8 steals, or 2.8 assists. But when it comes to effectiveness on the court, South Carolina begins and ends with defense. And Bree Hall, Raven Johnson, Sanaya Fagan are going to be counted on time and time again when it comes to defense. And you better expect Bree Hall to be on her big one when it comes to locking up as much as she can Madison Booker. We saw that. This is the 4th time. This is going to be the 4th time these teams have played. They played twice in the regular season. They played in the SEC tournament, and now they're playing again. This is the 4th time. 4th time's a charm, right? 4th time is a charm, I guess. And these are teams that know each other very, very well. I guarantee you at this point, Texas probably knows most of the plays that South Carolina runs. South Carolina knows most of the plays that Texas runs. This is a team that this is a team that that has been there, done that 3 times before. South Carolina and Texas are way more familiar with each other than UCLA and UConn. Because they're in the same conference, they played each other multiple times. And it's just going to come down to who wants it more. So we know about South Carolina. We know that they got players who can play defense. They got players who can score. Who wants it more, though? Then we look at Texas. Texas is another team that has been very, very good this year. They do have experience. They do have a coach who knows how to make some stuff happen, right? Vic Schaefer is an excellent coach. He has been to the Final Four before, right? When we look at Texas as a team, they also start and end with defense. This is a team that is looking to lock down their opponents. This is a team that is looking to grind out games. This is not supposed to be an easy slog of a game. No. Texas is going to come out there with that defense, led by, in a lot of cases, Madison Booker and Rory Harmon. They're going to do everything they can to possibly lock up the other opponents, right? So expect a low-scoring game in this one. This is not going to be, in my opinion, a 100 to 95 type of game. It's not. It is not. This is going to be a slog of a game that is, is really going to come down to the wire in a lot of ways. It's going to come down to the wire because these are two teams that love to play some defense, right? This is going to be, if Texas can win this game and make it to the championship game, this is going to be the second title for Vic Schaefer. Second title for Texas, and the first title for Vic Schaefer, who has made it to the championship game before, but has never actually won the whole thing. Now, when it comes to Texas, who do they turn to? Well, they turn to Madison freaking Booker, one of the best mid-range shooters in the country. When it comes to mid-range assassin, that is what she is. She can easily get to her spots, and because of her height, she is able to just elevate over the opponent and knock down her shot. She's someone who averages around 16.5 points a game. She is someone who can rock and roll wherever in the court. Now, is she a three-point shooter? Not really. She can shoot it, but she's not that comfortable. She's way more comfortable around the elbow, hitting that mid-range jumper. And it's someone who Texas is going to need to score about 25 to 30 points in order to have an opportunity to win this game. There's going to be a lot of work that she has to do, right? So Madison Booker, most important person on this team, but this team is not just about Madison Booker, right? You have Rory Harmon, who I think is really the second most important player on this team. Now, does Rory Harmon score a lot of points? Not totally, right? She's averaging around 9 points a game, almost 6 assists a game. So, she's a really good player. But as I said before, she is someone who focuses a lot on defense. And also she is, while not as explosive as she was before her injury, she is someone who absolutely can be an energizer bunny for this team, both on the offensive and defensive end. She can get to the rim and ultimately, yes, not a three-point shooter as well, but can knock down mid-range shots and get to the hole. In order for Texas to win, they need Madison Booker to be Madison Booker. Not the Madison Booker who struggled against South Carolina, right? Not that Madison Booker, right? She needs to be the Madison Booker that played against, the University of Illinois. The Madison Booker who played against LSU, right? Not the Madison Booker who had 10 points in Texas's last game against South Carolina. Nah. You need a big scoring production by Madison Booker in order for this team to get the dub. You have to. Because if not, it's over. It's over. It's over. South Carolina is a team that will try to suffocate Texas. The reason why is because Texas don't have three-point shooters. Not really. They don't really have three-point shooters. And so, we will see super tough defense in the paint. Very tough defense in the paint. And in the mid-range area. And Texas, in a lot of ways, are going to be dared to shoot. Rory, we'll let you be open, right? We'll let you be open. We'll give you that 3-point shot because we know you're not going to shoot it. And if you shoot it, we know you're not going to make it because you're a 28% 3-point shooter. We're going to clog the paint. We're going to make it hard for Madison Booker to get her mid-range jumpers. We're going to make it hard for Rory Harmon to get to the paint. We're going to make it hard for Taylor Jones and Kyla Oldacre and whatnot to do their thing. That's what South Carolina's going to do. Quintus, I agree. Expect a messy game. Expect a messy game. Okay? But expect a game of unpredictability because Madison Booker can go off and will return a victory. Rory Harmon can help to facilitate that. And Kyla Oldacre, when it comes to certain matchups, she can absolutely dominate. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what ultimately Texas is able to do, though it is an uphill battle. So we've gone through the 4 teams, the 2 games that are happening today, UConn versus UCLA and South Carolina versus Texas. In these games, I have UConn beating UCLA and I have South Carolina beating Texas. I don't think that is going to change. UConn and South Carolina are the best teams, in my opinion. They are the best teams that are left. And I think ultimately, experience, talent, and coaching, and who wants it more, is going to determine what happens in the Final Four. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens, guys. But I hope y'all are excited about it. I know this was not the most interesting of topics. I know. This is probably the least amount of views we've gotten on a live stream since for this entire week. I think this is the lowest amount of views. Probably because people want to hear about transfer portal stuff. They don't want to hear about the games that are happening. So I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. The people who are on this chat right now, y'all are some rock stars. I'm very, very appreciative that you all are choosing to watch this video and choosing to engage when it comes to what's actually happening today, which are the games. Okay. If y'all could, whoever's here, if y'all could hit that like button, it really does help the channel out a whole lot. So maybe after the stream is over, some people may end up watching. All right. So that's what we got. That is what we have for the Final Four. I'm excited about it. I hope y'all are as well. Now, some other things just to note, guys. It's officially official that Flau'jae Johnson is staying at LSU. It was reported by CBS. It was reported by The Athletic. ESPN reported about it. Everybody knows that she is indeed not going to the WNBA draft. Also, there's some other things that are happening in relation to USC. So, yesterday we found out that USC had a player hitting the portal, and there were some question marks about who else would possibly hit the portal. And it turns out that according to rumors online, there may be a chance that USC's Kaylee Heckel is also someone who might be entering the transfer portal as well. But I will talk about those. Actually, no, she already announced that she's going in the transfer portal. But yeah, I will talk about that. Probably in another stream. But yeah, you got two of the freshmen who are leaving USC. They're leaving USC, and we'll ultimately see what happens. She announced that she's leaving. She's going to enter the transfer portal. It's huge. It's a huge loss for USC, and I have a thought process around why we're seeing these players leave USC. But maybe I will. Maybe I will make a separate video, not a live stream. It probably won't be a Quita in the Mornings live stream, but maybe I'll make a separate video specifically about the transfer portal and like specifically why I think they've been a lot of movement with USC and why we will see more movement, because USC will not be very good next year. I'm just saying. I'm saying it right now. They will not be very good next year. Okay, guys, that's for another one. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Truly do appreciate it. And yeah, I hope y'all have a great day. This is Friday, so it's going to be a great day when it comes to women's basketball. If y'all could, make sure to hit that like button on y'all way out. My name is Ben Quita, and we have been in the mornings talking about some women's hoops. I feel like overall I just said it twice in the last minute, but I feel like overall for the stream I did say less, I think. But yeah, Anyway, I'm trying to do that pause and then talk, but I got to watch it back to actually see if it worked right or not. Anyway, I appreciate y'all so much for rocking with me. Make sure to watch the NCAA tournament today. Watch the Final Four today. All right? So let's talk about the times real quick. Let's talk about the times of the games. The first game we will see is South Carolina versus Texas. That game is happening at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure to watch that game at 7 p.m. Eastern time. All right? 6 p.m. Central time, 7 p.m. Eastern time, we will see Texas versus South Carolina. And then after that game, we will be able to watch UConn versus UCLA. Personally, I think this game is a little bit late, but unfortunately, it is what it is. We have UConn versus UCLA at 9:30 Eastern time. 8:30 Central time. I always get confused when I'm looking at Central time, but I have to remember add an hour for Eastern time, because I know a lot of y'all are Eastern time people. Okay? And so, yeah. Anyway. So 7 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. So very, very late for that second game. And we'll kind of rock out from here. We'll see what happens, guys. And I hope y'all are excited about the NCAA tournament. I am. We are back to actually talking about the games instead of just talking about the transfer portal, which is fun. What do y'all think? Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Guys, I will be live for the first game. Will I be live for that second game? To be honest with you, I don't know, because it is late. So I will be live for Texas versus South Carolina. So if y'all want to watch that game with me, y'all can do that at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Okay? Now, the games will be on ESPN, ESPN2, and ESPN Plus for both of those games. And I believe the ESPN2 signal will have the Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird show on it. So they'll be watching the game and talking about it, similar to the Eli Manning cast and all that stuff. So, yeah. That should be fun. And now also, if y'all don't want to if y'all don't want to watch that, y'all just want to watch the game, mute it, and then rock out with me in the chat, y'all can do that too. That's recommended. Anyway, y'all have a great day. I will see y'all shortly. And until next time, guys. Bye-bye.